Okay, I just posed my guy in some type of a pose. I don't know what he's doing, dancing or something, but look, that's kind of split like that. I just smushed it together. So there's a couple of ways we could do this. You could try and see if you can make a Keith Haring style shape by kind of tracing around your posed person. And if that doesn't work really well for you because it's kind of hard to draw around, I have another option, but we'll see if this works first. Oops, see, I hit his leg. You could do it with pencil first. Well, that's not too bad. That's a Keith Haring person, kind of. And here's the other way you could do it. You could pose your person and then draw a stick figure. So I'll draw his head, then I'll draw the body, then I'll draw the legs like I see him with the knees and legs up a little bit. Like that. And then to make it a little bit more like Keith Haring, I'm just going to go around everything. Now I like this method better because I like the shape of the body a little bit better than this shape because his head looks kind of fat and I didn't get the arms how I liked it. But then we have to repeat this. So what I do is I put a piece of paper over the top of it and you can see right through the paper to my person. And I want to put this person, or you can do a different kind of pose, but I'm going to use this one. So I'm just tracing around the outside. I'm not doing the stick figure guy again because I just want the outline like Keith Haring just had the big outlines. So there's one. And then I could move this to another position. Can you see through the paper? I'm moving that to another position and I'm tracing him again. Okay, so I've got two, and I want at least 3 Haring people on your paper, and they might not all totally fit on the page. They might be going right off the page, like this guy's going right off the page. That's okay. There we go. So there's my 3 Keith Haring people doing their thing. And then we have to do the next step. So we'll get on that in a second. Okay, so you couldn't make the tin foil work. So here's something else you could do. You could just do stick figures, but you have to try to make them look like they're doing something. So you need to have in your head, okay, let's see, I've got a happy person and they're jumping in the air. So what do you look like when you jump in the air? And you might want to jump and see what happens, but let's see, they're jumping. I'm gonna have their legs up like this. And I'm gonna have their arms out, whee, yay. So that could be one stick figure jumping in the air. Maybe you're very unhappy. So what does it look like when you're unhappy and you're drooping? Okay, I'm kind of drooping and shuffling around and I feel bad, so my head is down and my arms are just hanging. Ooh. All right, so that's another pose. Let's see what other kind of pose could we do. We could do a pose where somebody is running and they're looking like they're going really fast. So the legs are always bent like this. It's just a stick person. And their arms are bent because they're usually pumping to make them look like they're, make their arms pump to go fast. So there's another one. And maybe you're just really excited or you're like surprised maybe. You have to come up with your own emotions and you're like, what? What? I can't believe it. Okay? So you've got to come up with some figures, and then you would just outline them like we did the other to make them Keith Haring style. Okay, then you have to look at them and decide, all right, which ones do I like the best? And you do the same thing where you take another piece of paper and you trace over them, and you have at least 3 figures on your paper. You could do 2 of this one of that. You could do 1, 2, 3 of them. You could do all 3 like this. You decide, but you have to have 3 figures on your final copy paper. Now let's talk about the colors. You only get to use 3 colors, 1 set of complements, and you need to watch the color presentation, plus black. So choose the correct colors. So the first thing that I did was I thickened up the black lines around my figure, and then I started coloring it in using my complementary colors. So I picked blue and orange. I just keep thickening things up, added my colors, put some lines on the outside of the figures like Keith Haring did, and then I looked at some of his drawings and added other things in the background. Can you see my little coronavirus? Ooh,